Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to use standard form. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to write a number in standard form. So why is this number difficult to use? Well, it's too big to read, it's too big to calculate with, and it's too large for a calculator. So when we have to work with numbers this large, we use standard form. Standard form is a way to write really long numbers in a shorter way. So a number is in standard form if it's written as a times 10 to the power of n, where a is a number between 1 and 10, and n is an integer. So remember, the first number must always be between 1 and 10. It can equal 1, but it can't be 10. It's got to be less than 10. And the power must be a whole number. It can be positive and it can be negative as well. So for example, 2.7 times 10 to the power of 5 is in correct standard form. 1 times 10 to the minus 2 is in correct standard form. 3.2 times 10 to the minus 2 is in correct standard form. 31 times 10 to the 3 is not in correct standard form, because the number at the front, the 31, that should be a number between 1 and 10. 1.2 times 10 to the minus 12 is in correct standard form. 0.7 times 10 to the 8 is not in correct standard form, because the number at the front, 0.7, should be a number between 1 and 10. 9.2 times 10 to the minus 0.5 is not in correct standard form, because the power, 0.5, should be a whole number. 3.7 times 10 to the minus 8 is in correct standard form. 10 times 10 to the power of 3 is not in correct standard form, because the number at the front should be a number between 1 and 10. It can be 1, but it needs to be less than 10. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So the first one is in correct standard form. Number 2 isn't, because the power can't be a decimal. Number 3 is not in correct standard form. The first number must be between 1 and 10 and less than 10. Number 4 is in correct standard form. Number 5 is fine. Number 6 is not in correct standard form. The first number must be between 1 and 10. And number 7 is in correct standard form. So we want to write the number in correct standard form. So we write the number without the zeros at the end or the beginning. So that's 3877. Then we put the decimal point in the number to make it in between 1 and 10. So we're going to need to put the decimal point here in between 3 and 8. Then we count how many places the decimal point has been moved. So the decimal point started at the end of the number, and it's been moved forward 8 places. So it's times 10 to the power of 8, because the decimal point has moved 8 places forwards. Here's another example. We want to write this number in correct standard form. So we write the number without the zeros. So that'd be 315. Then we put the decimal place to make it in a number between 1 and 10. So we need to put the decimal point there. So it's in between 3 and 1. Then we count how many places the decimal point has been moved. So this time the decimal point has moved back 3 places. So because the decimal point this time has moved back 3 places, the power needs to be negative. So it's times 10 to the minus 3. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to convert numbers from standard form. So we want to write the number 4.32 times 10 to the 5 as an ordinary number. So we write the number without the decimal. Then we draw in the arrows of how many places the decimal point's moved. Well, it's moved 5 places because the power is 5. And then we fill in the gaps with zeros. So our number is 432,000. Here's another example. We want to write 6.84 times 10 to the minus 4 as an ordinary number. So we write the number without the decimal. Then we draw in the arrows. And this time, because it's a minus power, the arrow is going to go forwards. And then we fill in the gaps with zeros. Now remember, this is going to be a number less than 1. So we need to put the decimal point back in. So our answer is 0.000684. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. There's your green answers. And there's your amber answers. And now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to number 3. And this is to calculate with numbers in standard form. So we want to calculate 3 times 10 to the 8 plus 2.7 times 10 to the 5. So to add or subtract in standard form, we we need to convert the numbers to ordinary numbers. Then we can add them together. Then we can convert it back to standard form. So our answer would be 3.0027 times 10 to the 8. This time, we want to do 2.7 times 10 to the 5, take away 3 times 10 to the 2. So we convert the numbers to ordinary numbers first, and then we take them away. 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 3 we can't do, so we're going to need to borrow. 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away nothing is 9. 6 take away nothing is 6. And 2 take away nothing is 2. Now we convert the number back into standard form. So our answer is 2.697 times 10 to the 5. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. This time we want to simplify 4 times 10 to the 9 times by 3 times 10 to the 4. So we start by multiplying the numbers at the front together. Then we multiply that by 10 to the 9 times 10 to the 4. Now 4 times 3 is 12. And 10 to the 9 times 10 to the 4, well, we know from our rules of indices that when we multiply, we can add the indices together. So 9 plus 4 is 13. Now this answer is not in correct standard form, so we need to put it back into correct standard form. So we add in the decimal point, and we add 1 to the power. So our answer is 1.2 times 10 to the power of 14. This time we want to divide. So we want to do 10 times 10 to the 3 divided by 5 times 10 to the 7. So this time we divide the two numbers at the front and we multiply that by 10 to the 3 divided by 10 to the 7. Now 10 divided by 5 is 2. And 10 to the 3 divided by 10 to the 7, well, we know from our rules of indices that when we divide, we can subtract the indices. So 3 take away 7 is minus 4. So our answer is 2 times 10 to the minus 4. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now we're going to move on to number 4, and this is to apply to problem-solving questions. So the surface area of Earth is that number there, and the surface area of Jupiter is that number there. So how much greater is the surface area of Jupiter than the surface area of the Earth? We want to give our answer in standard form. So for this one, we want to do a subtraction. So we convert both numbers into ordinary numbers. Well, the surface area of the Earth is already as an ordinary number, so that's fine. And then we subtract them. 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 0. Now 0 take away 2 we can't do, so we're going to need to borrow. And take away 2 is 8. 9 take away 7 is 2. 4 take away 0 is 4. 9 take away 0 is 9. 7 take away 1 is 6. 1 take away 5 we can't do, so we need to borrow. 11 take away 5 is 6. 1 take away nothing is 1. And 6 take away nothing is 6. Then we need to put our number back into standard form. Here are 2 questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So for the green question, we need to subtract the numbers. So we convert them both into ordinary numbers, and we subtract them. So 0 take away 0 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 6 is 3. And 8 take away nothing is 8. We then put our number back into standard form. So our answer is 8.32 times 10 to the 4. For the red question, we need to use speed, distance, time. So we're trying to find distance, so we cover up D for distance, and that tells us to do speed multiplied by time. So we multiply these 2 numbers together. So we do 1.4 times 9.46 times by 10 to the 10 times by 10 to the 12. Now 1.4 times by 9.46 is 13.224. And 10 to the 10 times 10 to the 12, remember we can add the indices together. So that'll be 10 to the power of 22. Then we need to put the decimal point forwards 1 place, which means we add 1 to the power. So our answer is 1.3224 times 10 to the power of 23. And now we've completed success criteria 4. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.